Hi, Nick Dogle, North State Law. We safeguard your professional license so you can get back to business. Today's question is, how difficult is it to defend a lack of good moral character allegation against a licensee? There's a lot of good case law out there. I'm not going to talk about all of it because it would just kind of have me talking for hours, and nobody wants to hear that. So there's some U.S. Supreme Court cases, there's some North Carolina Supreme Court cases, also North Carolina Court of Appeals cases that are relevant to this specific question. The main one that we've seen quoted by North Carolina courts, Supreme Court and North Carolina Court of Appeals, is the U.S. Supreme Court case of Konigsberg versus California State Bar. Essentially, that case does a really good job of saying essentially good moral character is unusually ambiguous as a term, which is fair. What's good moral character to one person might not necessarily be good moral character to another person. So from there, the reason that that is quoted is we have an issue, right? So we have what is deemed by the U.S. Supreme Court as an unusually ambiguous term. Okay, so we've been able to use In re Willis, which is the North Carolina Supreme Court case, In re Dillingham, another North Carolina Supreme Court case, and then within that there is another North Carolina Court of Appeals case that is the Valle, Valle. And essentially, we've been able to kind of develop a three-pronged approach for defending lack of good moral character cases. Now, some of these cases really are talking about somebody that has applied for licensure and been denied, but you can still use, some of the holdings in these cases when you're having a defense. And those are quoted in other cases that are actually defending a lack of good moral character allegation when it's a licensee, somebody already has the license. So, all right, so first one in what we basically have been utilizing as three factors when we're defending these types of cases is the In re Dillingham case. And the big thing in that case, even though the person appealing was unsuccessful, the big thing that came out of that case is the stated deficiency that led to the lack of good moral character, does that still exist within the person? So one of the things is when you're going to a hearing, you want to show that you're not that person anymore. Okay, you've rehabilitated yourself. Here's all the evidence showing that you have, and on the date of the hearing, you have that good moral character that you were deemed to have been lacking in years past. And we could just kind of take maybe 2021, for example. All right, so say somebody does something in 2021 and they are able to show since that time or within the last 2 years, so to speak, 2-3 years, that they're a completely different person. They provide the evidence for it. Fantastic. All right, so they also need to show that it was an isolated incident, okay? Not a pattern of behavior, but an isolated incident. You can try to argue that it was a little bit more than one incident. Maybe it was because of a substance abuse issue or mental health issue that has since been corrected, but it spread out more than just one day, right? So that could be an argument to be had, but your best argument is going to be like, hey, I messed up this one day. Here's the reason why. Here's what I did to fix it, okay? And then the last one is, were the incidents or incidences that are considered one isolated incident, were they done with malice or ill intent? Okay. And if you can show like, no, here's why it was not malice or ill intent, and you can kind of go boom, boom, boom. Or if it's just that absolute one isolated incident, then, boom, here's where it wasn't. Then you have a really good case. The thing is, you can have a great case, you can present it a great way, you have a great closing argument, all your witnesses can be fantastic, the defendant can be fantastic as well, but sometimes you run into a judicial authority that makes a mistake. We're all human, it happens, but what you really want to do is just put yourself in the best position to acquire the result that you really want. So I hope that was extremely helpful. If you cannot find what you're looking for on my website, that is www.northstatelawfirm.com. Please give my office a call or a text at 919-521-8810, and you can get a free 15-minute discovery call with a member of my staff. Hope everybody has a fantastic day. Thank you very much for viewing. Bye-bye.